So it was meeting versus meeting today. The BJP's mega gathering of 38 parties started this evening in Delhi at around 5 p.m. and this was just as the United Opposition meeting ended in Bengaluru with a press conference and a declaration of the name of their alliance, India. Now, the NDA meeting in Delhi is being chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Ostensibly, the meeting of the NDA is being organized to mark completion of 9 years of the central government under Prime Minister Modi, and it's ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament. Most of the 38 parties meeting today are smaller allies with pockets of influence. The Congress, though, has been questioning and this sudden revival of the NDA, questioning why suddenly this meeting after they say you can't even remember when the last time an NDA meeting was held. NDA leaders may pass a resolution on the working of the alliance. Well, let's go across to Megha now for more. And Megha, tell us more about what's been happening at this meeting and what's happening right now.
Well, the meeting is on, Gargi. That's the update. But the visuals that you saw, at the time the Prime Minister arrived around 5 o'clock, right after that, lots of still pictures were shared with the media from inside. It tells you a story of the warmth that perhaps BJP is attempting to bring in this meeting. The pictures of hugs and handshakes tell you that story. A picture of, Chirag Paswan hugging the Prime Minister, a picture of the former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, EPS, shaking hands with Mr. Nadda. All of those pictures kind of tell you that this is an attempt by the Bharatiya Janata Party and a very, I would say, a serious attempt by the Bharatiya Janata Party to bring in everybody together on board, whoever wanted to become the part of the NDA. With some, of course, they're still negotiating. But those who were willingly wanting to come, there are many who've come back, one party that has joined for the first time. The NDA fold at this time, it seems to us, Gargi, is willing to take in a lot of people in their own fold. Why is that decision being taken? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party on their own have brought in 303 parliamentarians in the Lok Sabha. So why was there an attempt to try and go back to their alliance partners? We put this question to Mr. Nadda yesterday because there seems to be a change in strategy, a change in the thinking. And he said, that the Bharatiya Janata Party really has not gone out looking for their old alliance partners. These partners themselves wanted to come back to the NDA fold, and yes, they are very, very accepting towards that. It looks to me that, a lot of calculations have gone into this, calculations about the seat, calculations about how, the 2024 electoral results can change in their favor if they have these smaller parties back in their fold. Because, the reason I'm saying too many small parties who are there inside together, starting from Rajbhar going on to Jitan Rao Manjhi, how many seats in Lok Sabha will they be able to pull for the Bharatiya Janata Party? The calculation doesn't stop there. It goes to the vote shares, it goes to the communities wherein, their influence areas are. So BJP clearly has calculated all of that, and perhaps they're thinking, by the looks of it, is that Modi Maria. It looks like that to us. Modi Maria, the BJP is not showing that sort of a concern in terms of, people who've had charges against them, parties who they've called quote-unquote corrupt, sitting with them together inside today. We put that question to Mr. Nadda and he said, well, we don't compromise with corruption at all. So those who have been facing charges or the heat of the agencies, their investigation, those cases will continue to go on, and there would be no roadblocks from the side of the Bharatiya Janata Party as far as investigation is concerned. So having said all of that, I think while it is also about their strategy, their seat calculations, etc. for 2024, it's also a whole lot of posturing, messaging, because
right.
You had the alliance, now it's called India, the opposition parties coming together on the same day. So perhaps the way everybody sort of perceived it, it was the date of the alliance meeting in Bengaluru that was decided first. The NDA meeting was to happen either today or tomorrow. Well, it happened today. So it's alliance versus alliance, and the BJP would want you to believe that they are a much bigger, a much grander and a much solid alliance, because today they are celebrating the 25th year of NDA. There have been parties, regional parties who were part of this NDA in the past, who've gone, some who've come back, some they are still talking to. But this alliance has stood the test of time and it is still existing.
All right, I'm expecting a public, a statement to be made, but the clear rethink by the BJP there and an NDA 38 versus opposition's 26. Well, let's talk about the meeting in Bengaluru of the 26 opposition parties, where Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge announced the new name of the alliance, as Megha mentioned there, NDIA, the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, which Mamata Banerjee in fact said, NDA, do you think you can defeat India? While Rahul Gandhi said it would be a Modi versus India battle for 2024. Well, let's go across to V. Raghav, who's been speaking, to various members of various parties attending that meeting today. And V. Raghav, you can take us through what was decided. They're going to have an office or a secretariat in Delhi. There's going to be a meeting of a committee in Mumbai. Also very interesting was Mallikarjun Kharge saying the Congress is not really fixated on, who will be the Prime Minister. It's more about defeating the BJP.
That's right. You've pretty much summed up most of the things that happened today. So you've got that. You've got the name. That's a forward movement between Patna and Bengaluru. So a concrete move forward as far as the name is concerned. Forming a 11-member core committee is concerned to discuss issues. A central secretariat, as you're pointing out. A common consensus on a common minimum program. Eventually, of course, they came out with a joint statement which sort of reflects the entire mood. And as you pointed out, the Congress not making its prerogative the leader of the alliance or the face of the alliance, allowing that to be a matter of consensus perhaps for a later date. Now, what that reflects also is that the target is really to take on the BJP rather than create an alliance and give clarity on how it's going to play out here. As they go forward, obviously, Gargi, the challenges will be about finding those tricky states. You see, there are straightforward states where the alliances are pretty much old, historic, and well settled. But there are states like West Bengal, UP, Bihar, where it would be tricky to figure out alliances. So that would need deft handling. Going forward, they need to figure out on who would be convener. When I spoke to Sitaram Yechuri earlier in the day and asked him, is there clarity that Congress will be the cohesive central force? He says in Karnataka, because they're the host, it's the cohesive force. In Maharashtra, it will be Mahavikas Angadi, which will be the cohesive force. So pretty much allies will also be looking at what their position is. Lots of issues to come out, but of course a very strong start as far as the opposition is concerned, showing categorical results both in terms of names as well as in terms of the way forward as they head from Bengaluru to Mumbai. The joint statement also reflective of the mood amongst the opposition parties, taking on the BJP. The word and the terminology that you're talking about a short while ago, Tol Tirumavalavan of the VCK, sort of narrated how it played out, who proposed it, then how it came off. I think there was a lot of deliberation about that. India having the name National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, a lot of thought went into that as well. So yes, challenges ahead, but a start for opposition unity, Gargi.
All right. Thanks so much, V. Raghav, for joining us, with all the details of that meeting today. And let's take a look at some of the statements that were made at the press conference later.
I have not heard so many parties in India, and that too 30 parties with NDA. बहुत से टुकड़े टुकड़े हो गए थे. वो पूरे टुकड़ों को जोड़ने का काम मोदी जी अब कर रहे हैं. He is doing it now.
We asked ourselves, what is the fight? Who is the fight between? And we realized the fight is not between two political formations. The fight is a fight to defend the idea of India. And that is why we came up with the name Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, which also happens to stand for India.
NDA, can you challenge India? Bhajpa, can you challenge India? The other people, can you challenge India? We are for youth, we are for students, we are for farmers, we are for Kishans, we are for Dalits, we are for good economy, we are for the country.
आज ये 26 पार्टियां हम सब लोग अपने लिए एकत्रित नहीं हुए. हम देश को एक तरफ बचाना है. जिस तरह से पूरे देश के अंदर नफरत फैलाई जा रही है उससे बचाना है. और दूसरी तरफ एक नए भारत का सपना लेके हम सब लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं, जहाँ पे ऐसा भारत होगा जहाँ सब सुख शांति होगी, प्यार मोहब्बत होगी और देश तरक्की करेगा।
जैसे एक जमाने में आजादी की लड़ाई हुई थी, तो अब आजादी खतरे में आई है, तो इस आजादी के लिए हम सब इकट्ठा आए हैं और पक्का भरोसा है कि हम कामयाब रहेंगे, हो जाएंगे। और देश की जनता के मन में एक डर है कि अब क्या होगा, तो हम इतना उनको एक एहसास दिलाना चाहते हैं, कि विश्वास दिलाना चाहते हैं, डरो मत, हम है।